button. So we'll see. And just like that, we're live. Welcome to the April 2023 version of the Philmont Trek Talk group on Facebook's live Q&A right here in the flesh, virtually. Of course, we have a distinguished panel of Philmont experts and somewhat, these guys are they're all experts, but I'm just here to kind of cat herd and keep everyone pointed the right direction. I'd like to start off, as always, by going around the horn here where everyone can do a quick introduction. I'll start. Hi, I'm Jeff. I'll be your tour guide this evening. And I am the skipper of Sea Scout Ship 4019 in Burlington, North Carolina. And I've been to Philmont once as a youth and several times as an adult. And with that, we will defer to the senior member of our contingent here, the most experienced Philmont trekker to walk the face of the earth ever. Potentially. I have no idea. I just made that up. Darrel?
Okay, that's me, Darrel Tadsen. I'm out of the Greater St. Louis Area Council, obviously St. Louis. Attended Philmont multiple times, most recently several council contingent advisor, coordinator, and I want to go back to Philmont.
You should. Good.
Ashley, to my whatever that.
Yeah. Hi, I am Ashley Olson. I am one of the full-timers here at Philmont, one of the managers of the Tooth of Time Trader.
And she's going to have all kinds of special sales for those who are here tonight.
Oh, wouldn't that be neat?
So, I'll give you all access to our wonderful website. Just for joining it.
As long as we have Darrel's checkbook, we don't care.
Yeah.
Hey,
Awesome. Scott O'Mary from Plano, Texas, Scoutmaster Troop 259. I've been doing the rounds this last week, talking high adventure in general. I'm ready to talk Philmont tonight.
There you go.
Over to
plan.
Rob.
Yeah, the wrong way. All right, I'm Rob Smith. I am I'm from O'Fallon, Illinois. I'm also a part of the Greater St. Louis Area Council. And so I'm the high adventure chair for Troop 85. And also the purveyor of highadventurescouting.com, which we deal with the info on council high adventure adventures and all kinds of other stuff. So, yeah.
I guess it's my turn.
On to the other guy with the.
I was late to get up there, but I did get it up there.
Perfect.
There you go.
Wonderful.
Perfect timing. There you go.
Looks like you're hiking at Philmont, right? Yes.
Yeah, close. Me, Sal Porto, Greater Tampa Bay Area Contingent Leader, Assistant Scoutmaster, Troop 212. Going back to Philmont for not as many as Darrel, but I'm going to try to catch up with them. Also, owner-operator of Suncoast Wilderness First Aid. I teach Wilderness First Aid, CPR, and all that fun stuff to go along with it. And up to you, Mr. Jeff.
Jefe, El Jefe.
El Jefe. He's not moving. He's silent.
I know. I was trying to frantically pull your website up in the background. I like to share that. I like to share that with people. And I dropped High Adventure Scouting and Suncoast WFA out in the discussion. So if anyone wants to go visit those, I just made it easy for you.
There you go.
Okay. So we're going to kick off. But before we get into Darrel's agenda that he is frantically working on now so that he'll have it ready in a few minutes, we're going to ask Mary Kate's better sister to tell us all about the Tooth of Time Traders. And honestly, Ashley, if you could kind of start with high level, the scope of what you cover, and then I'm sure you have some like timely, more urgent things to talk about for the upcoming trek season as well. But start as high level, because we do get some people here who've never been there. They've never seen it, maybe didn't even know you had a website. So let's do everything.
Definitely. So I've now been with the Tooth of Time Traders for 2 years. This weekend will be 2 years since I started my job. As a full-time staff, I worked out here 4 summers seasonally throughout college and fell in love with it.
Favorite things.
and came back out and started full time in 2021. So this will be my third summer as a full-time staff. I am assistant manager of our store, and then I also oversee all of our website, our marketing, social media, everything pertaining to that. And then my other job duty on top of that is I am the director in charge of our 6 satellite operations in the backcountry. So we have 4 trading post stores that operate just the summer month at Poniel, Baldy, Apache Springs, and Phillips Junction. And then we have 2 cantinas, one at Abreu and another at Poniel. And so definitely keep myself very busy with all of that. I also oversee our custom cruise shirt program that we just launched little bit over a month and a half ago. And the Tooth of Time Traders is basically a mini REI that has a ton of Philmont souvenirs. So we pride ourselves on carrying all of the merchandise that you would need for a trek. Obviously, you're going to be coming with a lot of that. But if you do your shakedown with your ranger and you realize, oh my gosh, I didn't think of camp shoes, or I didn't think of extra backup socks or tips for my hiking poles or little things like that, we carry all of that. There are also those situations where a pack gets lost in a flight. Obviously, that's a horrible situation, but it does happen. And so we make sure that we have everything available so that your trek can still happen. And so everything from camping items that pertain to kitchen stuff, stoves, fuel, spoons, sporks, bowls, all of those gadgets, to the actual backpacks and sleeping bags and pads and pillows. You may come out to Philmont thinking, I don't need a sleeping pad. I'll be fine. And, halfway through your 12-day trek, you think I most definitely need a sleeping pad. This is ridiculous. And so we have those nuances kind of at those backcountry stores that I mentioned I oversee. For your ability to get what it is that you are wishing you had more of on your trek, or if you realize you're running out of Tylenol, or you get a sunburn, and we have aloe. And so then we also carry site specific things at those backcountry camps as well. So things like at Baldy, we have some shirts and some patches. So a lot of times crews will like to buy a patch for Baldy after they hike it. It's a little more exciting to reward yourself with it the day of. But also everything we sell in the backcountry, except for some exclusive Nalgenes, are available in the store as well. On that note, our website, that's kind of my little baby. That's kind of my main focus at the Tooth of Time Traders. We sell about 90% of the things that we have in store. There are some things that are only earned, like the Wilderness Gear patch or the Duty to God patch. Some things like that aren't on there. And then just some tiny little things that just really no one needs to purchase on the store or on the website. On that note with the website, it's great for buying souvenirs, pre-trek, post-trek, things of that nature. 30 years later, you're remembering Philmont and your leather belt from 30 years ago finally broke. We have those things, but another great feature with our website is when you go to checkout, you add the items to your cart. It'll have you enter your email address and shipping address, and down below that, it lets you select if you want standard shipping or in-store pickup. And so in-store pickup, obviously, there's no shipping fee with that, and we have your items waiting for you. So that's a really convenient option. If you find out the day before you're heading out here, oh my gosh, my rain jacket doesn't fit me, I'm not gonna have time to stop anywhere and get one. Jump on our website, buy the rain jacket in your size, come into the store before your trek and just say, hey, I'm picking up an order for Mary Kate Olsen, and we'll have it sitting on the shelf for you and grab that. So that's a great feature. We implemented that a lot in 2021 because of COVID restrictions and not knowing if we were going to be able to have people in our store or not. That's when we made sure to throw up things on our website like Tylenol and toiletries and small things like that. And we've just decided to keep those there just for the convenience of our customers. So not only do you have the chance to shop ahead of time and pick those things up, but obviously once you're here, a lot of people get things for their trek ahead of time, but we always recommend, since storage is limited, unless you drive and you've got a lot of car space, to wait on those souvenir items probably until you get back from your trek. But whatever suits you is great. Another note I kind of wanted to make is last year was our first year without an ATM. The bank in town ended up having to take that away. They're just a small little bank, and it just wasn't supporting them to have that there. And so there is not an option for cash back at our store at the moment. and there is not an ATM at Philmont. There are a couple ATMs in town here, so if you drove a car and you guys can get into town, by all means. But definitely think about, cash and what you may need to bring with you in terms of that. We do, of course, accept credit card, Apple Pay, all of that stuff in our store. And then in the backcountry, we accept cash, or we do a trail charge is what it's called. So if you go into the backcountry and you bring $20 and you spend it by day 4, and then all of a sudden, you get a hole in your sleeping pad and you need a new one or something, on day 6, you can do a trail charge, and that's just a fee that's paid before you're able to get your arrowhead patches and stuff and officially check out at Philmont. So just keep in mind there are options for that. Obviously, it's easier on everyone if you've got the cash and whatnot, but we definitely have those trail charges for that purpose. Aside from that, I kind of wanted to, there's one other thing. I know it's always, for some reason, this weird rumor goes around, and I think we've nipped it in the butt from last year, that we are out of isobutane, and you cannot purchase isobutane on our website because we do not have the ability to make something only in-store pickup. Our website doesn't allow it. Hopefully in the future we will, but it has to allow us to ship the item also, and that's not legal. We're not allowed to ship isobutane fuel. So we actually got a 2-year supply of isobutane at the end of last year. So we have isobutane through half of 2025 at this point. So we've got tons. We also obviously have white gas as well. But just so you know, if you are coming to Philmont, you can pick that up here. Not an issue. We also have our white gas and our isobutane at all of our commissary camps in the backcountry. So you're able to purchase some along the trail as well. You'll just want to talk with logistics and kind of see where you'll be stopping to get fuel and things like that as you prep for takeoff. So that way you can make sure you have the proper fuel with you from the start. 2 other things I kind of want to touch on, and then maybe you guys have a few things you'd like me to. We have 2 items that we just launched, I want to say a couple weeks ago. Our 2023 buckle. And so this is a pewter version of the limited edition buckle that we did in January, I believe it was. This is the pewter version. We made 500 of them, so there's not tons of them, but it is inscribed with 2023. And on the back, there's a blank plate so that you could take those home and get engraved at a local jeweler or wherever you would like. We also do have our 2023 belts. And so this year is a great year for that if you're coming on a trek, of course, because it's going to be special to you that you came in 2023. But they're also really great because it is our 85th anniversary this year. So we're kind of playing with those dates a little so that people can celebrate Philmont's 85th. And then I wanted to touch real fast on our custom crew shirts. We launched those at the beginning of March. We do have 4 shirt options, 3 for all the crews and 1 specific to 12-day crew. The 12-day cruise. We've got our collage, as you can see on the left there. These are all the back arts. The front art is shown if you dig in a little more and look for that. We have our the brownish colored shirt there. The coyote color is the tooth of time art, and then we also have a shield art. So those are pretty universal. You get to pick your color, your shirt art, and then 3 lines of customization on the front. The itinerary shirt is only for 12-day itineraries this year. Last year, we had to switch vendors for our cruise shirt for the first time in a number of years due to some difficulties. And we were not able to offer them last year. So this being the first year to bring them with this new vendor, we had to start small. Just for the 12-day alone, there's 30 plus itineraries. So there's 30 plus arts. So if you times that, by 3, you're looking at 90 arts on top of all the other art for the other shirts. So we decided to start small just to guarantee great service across the board. And so hopefully next year we'll be able to launch those other ones and have all itinerary options available in those. These shirts are a 12 shirt minimum, meaning for each shirt color, art, and customization, you have to do 12 shirts. So if you do an itinerary shirt and a collage shirt, you have to do 12 of each. You can't just do 12 itinerary and then 2 collage or something like that. I think there was a little confusion on that for some people. And so I just wanted to clarify that as well. These shirts do take at the most 10 weeks from the date of order to the date of delivery. So take into account that you don't leave home the day your trek starts. You obviously need to get them delivered to you before you would leave to come out here. Or you can also obviously select in-store pickup for those and pick those up here at the store. Aside from that, there's some really great shirts. They are awesome. These are the best quality custom shirts I've seen since I've been working here at Philmont. Wonderful material, spun polyester. They've got UV protection in them. So the long sleeve is a great option for sun protection. Short sleeve, obviously, get it around your neck and tops of your arms as well. And very quick, rapid dry in these. So just all around a great shirt. Unisex sizing on those, but tends to favor towards the male sizing. So if you are a woman, I would size down one from what you wear in women's sizing. So other than that, I know Darrell asked me about maps. The 2023 maps are not in yet. They're a little delayed this year. Usually we launch them around this time. We're hoping to have them up on the website end of April, worst case, probably early May. The 2022 maps are extremely similar to what these maps will be. Very minor differences. So if you and your crew are waiting on those maps to practice looking at maps and learning how to do it, I would suggest just ordering the 2022, at least one to use for practice hikes. And then you can always pick some more up in store for your actual hike when you get here. So that's a little feedback on those. But as soon as those are in, the information online will be switching to say 2023, 2022 will no longer be available. We'll use those for our staff here at Philmont. And I'll also be, making an announcement via our social media website and some email contacts just to let everyone know those are in. I think that's kind of what I wanted to cover, but if you guys have some more you'd like me to inform you on, I'd be happy to.
Ashley, I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your prediction of what is the most popular souvenir item that if I don't have a crew that arrives until late July, it's not going to be on the shelf, and I better order it right now on the website? Any predictions?
That's a good question. A lot of times, a lot of the really cool shirts, we have tons. We have so many shirts this year. Every year we think, wow, we have a lot of shirts. And then every year after that, we realize we ordered even more. So we've got tons. So it's hard to say which ones will actually sell first. That hoodie to the left there, that's that kind of yellowish mustard color that you've got on the screen. That one is so popular already just from online sales that we placed a second order about a week after these arrived in because they sold so well. They're a great material and just a really fun, neat color and design. Other than that, it's just a few different t-shirts and stuff. The limited edition belt, the 2023 belt and buckle that I touched on, those are obviously limited quantity, so they can sell quicker. But for the most part, we really look at running analytics on stuff that we sell that are repeat items and really looking. Last year's numbers for scouts are very comparable to this year. Obviously, the scouts are going to buy different things than they did last year, but it gives you a general average idea of kind of planning and forecasting your sales. And so we spend a lot of time really working on that. So I wouldn't say things are necessarily going to sell out, but there are certain sizes, of course, and things like that we can't guarantee their stock up. So if you see something you absolutely love, I would always recommend doing an in-store pickup. And if you get here, the nice thing is you can always try it on. And if you realize the medium's a little snug and you need a large and we still have it in stock, we can easily swap those out for you at the register. So aside from that, I mean, there's not the most popular items, but definitely won't sell out are going to be our belt and buckle. I mean, for so many years now, those have been great. Our traditional leather belt and the 2023 belt are made by a company called Dunraven, and this is actually the 75th year they've made that belt for us. So that is a long-standing classic item here at the To the Time Traders, and so that's definitely one of those things. You don't necessarily think you need a leather belt and a buckle. I know I didn't wear one ever in my entire life until my first summer at Philmont, and I was like, oh, I need a leather belt and buckle. So definitely an item that you kind of want to think about budgeting for. It's a little pricier, but I've got people that call me 30, 40 years later, my belt finally broke. I need to order a new one. So that's always a cool item. And then aside from that, our top sellers are things like the coffee mugs, the t-shirts, the Naljeans, things like that.
So a mustard hoodie and a leather belt. Okay, got it.
Heck yeah, do it. Awesome. Any other questions? Oh, I see Darrell's mouth moving. I don't know if he's asking me something. I don't hear him.
He's just mumbling.
Yeah, I've already put a map. I've already put a map in the cart because I absolutely took Ashley's advice, and I don't try to travel with souvenirs after I wait till I get home and then order, but then I forgot. So I need to get my souvenir map so that I can, what we do, and I don't know if any other crews do this, but I'll take the full map and then draw out every place that we stopped, everything we did along the way, mark it, the first stop, I'll put a little circle with the 1, second day, a circle with the 2, and go all the way through the trek. And then I like to do that on a new map for each trek. So I got to order mine and get that in before they throw all the 2022s away. So if anyone else was like me and just forgot to order their souvenirs after last year, get that done before the big rush starts for this summer.
No, we've all planned ahead. Sorry, Jeff.
You're the only
I don't doubt
You're it.
Yep.
Yeah, Ashley, a couple of things that I'm getting the questions on too, and I'm glad you touched on the gas situation. I still have your picture from last year. I swear I'm going to put it up there.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
that was beautiful, and the maps. I think I'd like to go back to one of the items you said, purchasing in the backcountry and charging it.
Yeah.
I would assume that should be used rather judiciously.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I would say
for major items and not, oh, gee, I need this or I need that. And,
Yeah, we do ask for a little understanding on the process. It has to be brought down to base camp. And then I have 2 employees that work in my backcountry operations program seasonally. So they enter all of those in. Then we have to put them in our gateway so that people at registration know that you've got to charge. And then when you do come to pay the charge, we have to run that through a cash register like a normal payment. So there are lots of steps. With that being said, we are happy to do it because obviously that's supporting Philmont and building revenue for this place we love. We do ask, though, for some consideration on consolidation. If everyone in your crew wants $1 root beer, maybe someone can step up and buy the root beer for the, spend $10, something like that, and then maybe divvy it out later. I know there is a lot of stress with the crew that's done a lot of trail charges, and they have to figure out who did what and figure it all at base and who owes who what and things like that. And so maybe taking into account how you'll kind of process all of that when you get down into base, and setting some limits for the people in your truck ahead of time instead of when you're out there trying to figure it all out. So those are some great things to talk on. Obviously a lot of people don't want to be carrying tons of cash around, but we are still, and there's definitely no guarantee on this whatsoever. We're still really researching the possibility of having credit cards and a mobile POS system at each of our backcountry locations. Our goal was for this year, but we actually are in the process of upgrading our retail service that we use at our whole entire store for a newer model. And with that, we didn't want to implement and put all this time and effort into a backcountry point of sale when everything was going to change as far as the upgrade. And so there's still a small chance Poniel could have that option this year. We won't really know until it's a little closer, until the beginning of the summer. But once again, that would just be Poniel. It would not be everywhere you're traveling. And we would make that a very apparent announcement so that a lot of people knew ahead of time. But the goal here in the next couple of years would be that every single one of our 6 backcountry locations offers credit cards. So hopefully that'll be here soon, and trail charges will be very minimal. But at this point, as much work as it is, we're here to make your trip rememberable and awesome and great. And if that means we have to enter a bunch of trail charges, that's what we're here for. So not the end of the world.
The other thing would be, supposing I blew out my sleeping bag, like you said, got a hole in the mattress or shoes, do you offer, or could there be backcountry delivery for an item like that would be essential to the trek?
Yeah, we get radio calls almost every day in the summer for something.
Okay, I just want to let the audience know.
Yeah, so there's obviously emergent situations where the crew needs a new stove, or they're not going to be able to make food tomorrow night, something like that, where we're going to get you that stove by tomorrow night. But some of them, if you're way back in there, Black Mountain or something, and you need something, like, we try to utilize what we can. Let's say a shoe blows, like your example, Darrell, and you're an hour away from Baldy. We may be able to get shoes from Baldy faster to you. via logistics helping us out with all of that. Or we have the shoes here at base too. And so I send shoes and rain gear are the two things we send the most to the backcountry on a very regular basis. But then, of course, there's the random knee brace or things of that nature that, yes, most definitely. So the kind of the protocol is we listen in for the radio. If we're not around and we miss it, busy in the front of the store, logistics calls us and lets us know. That then gets put in as a special need request, and that goes out to that person as soon as we possibly can.
Okay. Last month we covered backcountry cleanliness and hygiene. Particular, we had a female join us. Tooth of Time traders. Should a female find herself in a situation, you have those feminine products at the trading post that they can get.
We do, yes, we have.
Just wanted to make, let people know that,
Most definitely. We carry those both at our store and our backcountry locations.
Okay, good.
And then I know a lot of staffed camps have in their first aid kit stuff like that, because you're not always at a place that has a store when that situation comes up. And then for discrete purposes, we do also carry small black, they're actually for picking up after your dogs, but the black small bags, just so that you can have a discreet way of discarding that stuff as well while you're on your trek. Trying to take into account, we get a ton of female hikers now, and so we have to sort of think in terms of that. And we definitely have, and we are always super happy to take any suggestions of stuff we don't carry so that we can improve and make sure we have the things you need. We have a big, huge dry erase board in the summer that we write, someone asked for this, and we just fill it in, and we watch for those repeat things. And so any ideas you guys ever have, please shoot them at us. We love that.
Okay. I just wanted to cover that.
I've got an idea right now.
Yes. What is it?
Here's the idea right now. We've got an audience out there, but I've not seen any comments come in from the audience. So the idea is this is a participatory program. It goes much better when you're not counting on us to carry the topics and keep it interesting. So if you're out there watching, if you've got a crew that's coming or you've been, you have any thoughts or comments, you'd like to participate in the discussion, please use the comment section on whichever platform you're on to get those questions in. And Ashley is going to turn into a pumpkin here shortly because she has other responsibilities. So now is your chance. Last call to ask Mary Kate's sister any questions you would like, preferably pertaining to Philmont and the Tooth of Time traders.
Yeah.
And I also think that, I get mixed feelings about this one, but with the number of adults that are carrying cell phones as an emergency backup, in case there's an issue, a medical issue, and they need to be able to call for help, I think that if you not only have battery packs, but you charge the battery packs before you send them out so that people could buy them instead of harassing the staff at Poneal or Abreu or any place that appears to have wires coming into a building. Hey, let me charge, well, can't let you charge, but I can sell you this battery pack.
Yeah. We've discussed that. Last year we were not able to get in Goal Zero. So all we really had were a product called Lucy Lights and Lucy Solar. They're like a blow up solar little panel thing that you could kind of wear on your pack while you're hiking. And assuming you got a nice sunny day, that would work. But we do have Goal Zero back in stock. Lots of options from the smaller little flip to the bigger, more expensive. The issue is they're all packaged in those nice plastic tight, got to cut to get into them. And so tossed around the idea of charging some of those up and having them there. I think Philmont, most of the time, the solar works to charge. And so obviously that's not charged immediately, but that does work, soon. And so there's definitely those options. I'll absolutely bring that to the table with the other full-time at the tot and kind of see if that's something we'd be interested in doing. Yeah. Great idea though. I know we've definitely we've talked about that idea, and the only issue is opening the product up, and I don't know that people want that. I mean, I'm sure in that emergent situation or really wanting to be able to take pictures for the next so many days on their trek and things like that they may.
Yeah. So we do have a couple questions that have come in.
Awesome.
Facebook user, one of our more popular participants in the chat, has asked, do you have chairs?
Well, we have chairs all around the outside of our store. No, we do sell chairs.
Right.
we kind of, our goal at the store is to do good, better, best on most items we carry. So we have more of a low cost, good option, the medium range better option, and then of course we have more high end best options just to kind of suit everyone's needs. So kind of our middle of the road is going, or the starting is going to be our Crazy Creek, very popular item, branded with our Philmont arrowhead. It is, if you're not familiar with it, it's the one on the far right there. And so that's going to be a totally collapsible flat item, kind of looks like the shape of a pizza box. Doesn't smell as good when it's not opened up. A lot of people carry those just either with a carabiner or a loop on their pack on the back while they hike, so it doesn't need to go inside of it. And it does have that nice material where it's waterproof for the most part there. It's got little connectors on the side that kind of keep it shaped when you do sit down in it. So they're a great option. The padding is decent. I mean, you're still on the ground, so if you're sitting on some big rocks, you will feel those. But for the most part, they're a really good option and a really cool souvenir piece. And then we've kind of got that in the middle option, that slacker chair there. That's another option, a little heavier of an option of the three, but that gets you up off the ground at more of a reasonable price. And then our most expensive and best quality option is going to be that Skyline ultralight big Agnes chair there. That one runs, I want to say 150-ish, and it is a very lightweight option. It comes in about the size of a really small umbrella when you package it all up. They are extremely comfortable. Definitely a splurge. That's an item you don't bring a lot of times, but we see a lot of people buying once they get here and realize, oh man, I could really use this for the trek. So kind of to each his own with that stuff. But that is also an item we see selling in the backcountry a little more, that I think by day 4 or 5 of your 12-day trek, you're like, you know what? I deserve a nice chair so that I can be comfortable when I am here at camp. So those are some of those options. But yes, we have chairs.
So Ashley, when a newcomer coming to base camp, they're heading toward the tot, and over to the left there's a yurt.
Yes.
What's the yurt about for those?
Yes. So in a perfect world, we have an awesome full staff, which we're aiming for this year, but we still need people. So I'll give my little shout out that if you know someone 18 and up that is still looking for something to do this summer, we still have just a handful of jobs left at the Tooth of Time Traders as clerks in the front of house, and one accounting position as a countdown clerk, which is more of an office job next door to my office. And so we still have those available. But if we do have our full staff this year, the yurt will be open just on a regular basis, 8 to noon and 1 to 5 each day. It is our items that we just have one-offs of, or maybe an old model of Merrill shoes. I know we just got our new Merrills in, and so the old ones went over there. So discounted price on some less current models of things. And then just some shirts that, we didn't reorder, and we have, 3 of the 6 sizes we normally order in, and we decided to discount those and put those over there as well. So all sorts of different stuff like that. There's also a handful of the 75th anniversary belts in size 30. So if you're super tiny, little nuances like that we kind of sell. So it is definitely a sale yurt is what it's used for. Worst case scenario, it will be open a handful of times in the summer. So maybe you'll get lucky and it'll be one of the times you're here. Most of the items, as you can see there, are online for you to purchase. We have a lot of sales shirts, shoes, things like that. If you're still in need of hiking shoes, there are some really great shoes that literally are just a different design than they were last year. So they're discounted. So definitely give that a look if you're on the hunt for some items that are, going to be on sale, which is always great.
Cool. Yep. Well, the 30-inch belts, I guess you could buy 2 buckles and 2 belts and put them together. Huh?
I think if you had a pit bull or something, you could make a collar.
Wonderful. I since the time I started there coming, I believe somebody could get in their car, drive to Cimarron, walk into the Tooth of Time Traders and say, I'm going on a trek tomorrow morning, equip me. And you could give them everything they needed.
Absolutely. Yep. We definitely can. And we will always be that way. We aren't a big sales. We don't see huge sales in like our big hiking backpacks, And so, we think, do we need to have this many? But, that's what we pride ourselves on, is having all of those items available to you. And we had a crew that came out last summer, and unfortunately, before they jumped on their train, they had an overnight in a hotel, and their trailer for their troop got broken into. And I think of the 9 or 10 kids, all but 1 or 2 packs were completely stolen. And so they jumped on their train, they started making phone calls, they got in contact with me, and we started piecing together the things they were going to need. We decided to open the store for a few hours after it closed so that they could have private shopping to kind of calm the nerves of the situation that had just happened. Obviously, we got those prices down to just what we pay. We did not profit from that. And then we had some news kind of broke about it. And we had a few people at base camp that came over, some advisors and some people that had dropped some crews off that weren't going on a trek, just staying and volunteering, came in and donated money, had some other people calling in and donating money. And when it was all said and done, the crew paid nothing for that gear. They were totally clothed and were able to continue. Obviously, that's not the situation for every crew, but it's awesome when people hear about stuff like that and step up and can help out with things. So in a situation like that, there was a kid who had a size 13 wide foot, and mom was calling me. She's like, "You're not going to have a shoe. Like, what can we do?" And like, "We've got a size 13 wide. We got you, mom." So that was the first thing. He wanted to try those shoes on and make sure. And thankfully they fit. They came in after their trek and they all had an amazing time and thanked us again. And so it ended up being great.
Awesome.
You guys, the staff out there never ceases to amaze me.
I agree with you. They amaze me all the time too. So it's a pretty awesome place. I just keep seeing this question.
Soft serve ice cream at soft serve.
Yeah,
ice
that's
cream
that
in the
soft serve.
backcountry?
Yeah,
No.
backcountry mail. We don't, but we do have our freeze dried ice cream sandwiches back there. That if you
There you go.
dip it in enough water, it might taste like the soft serve ice cream.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
But then you'd have to purify the water first.
You most definitely would. I know.
Yeah.
I got this brilliant idea last year, the year before that, at Abreu and Peniel. I wondered, since we serve the root beer on tap, if you could rehydrate an ice cream sandwich in the root beer and have a root beer float. So we tried it at base camp, and no. The answer, at least not in the time we gave it, that is an absolute no. So don't try it. It's not worth it. Eat them separate.
Yeah. Nice.
Mix them in your mouth.
Yes, exactly.
That could work. Yep.
We got anything else out there, Jeff, for?
Nope, that's it for now. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it. If anyone has any questions after Ashley leaves, then feel free to put them in the chat or to use the group in Facebook to post questions, and someone else will answer, or maybe Ashley will get to it, or reach out directly to the Time Traders
Yeah,
through the website.
I'm our direct response for our To the Time Traders email address. So if you ever have questions, it's tooth_of_timetraders@scouting.org, or you're more than welcome to email me, ashley.olson@scouting.org. Always happy to help. We have our direct line. It's 575-376-1145. Most of the time we answer that, but we're crazy busy all over the place. So please leave a message. We do always get back to those. And happy to help. Any questions pertaining to the Time Traders. And if you can't get a hold of someone somewhere else and you need help figuring out who to ask a question to, we can always help you with that as well. So super excited to see all of you out here this summer. And and we do have isobutane in case you want to know. Oh, Darrel. That is amazing. Otherwise, thanks for having me. And I will look forward to seeing any of you that are coming out here this summer.
All
Thanks,
right. Thanks
Ashley.
so much. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank
All
you
right.
very much.
Thank you, Ashley. All right.
All right. And with
good.
that, we can transition into the next bit of the agenda. So we have, I think Darrel has some updates from Philip and Monica. If you want to tell people who those folks are and what your updates are. And then we're going to dig into where crews should be at this point if you're getting ready for treks this
Okay.
summer.
I reached out to Philip Ferrier. He is the associate or assistant, I'm not sure, associate director of camping at Philmont. He is in charge of seasonal staff hiring and has a pretty good handle on all of the things that Philmont offers as far as training materials and so forth. And while he denied or was busy and couldn't join us this evening, he left me kind of a generic list that, please, the advisors, adult advisors, whether they're the lead advisor or not, it sounds simple, and we've been talking about it for a couple of years. Read the material that Philmont provides, the shakedown guide, the advisor's guidebook, the guidebook to adventure that they just recently sent out to all of the crews, cooking methods, the various videos that they have, the series of preparedness seminars that they put on. All of this stuff is there. Maybe it's a male thing and we don't read directions, whatever. We don't read the directions when something fails, but 99% of all your questions, of all the questions, do I need this? Do I need that? It's pretty well documented in all of those items. Should you have questions, the Philmont or the PTT Facebook page, we're here and we can give opinions and so forth, but, and we pretty well follow the book, if you will, as far as Philmont, but to get the proper and the right answer, please call camping headquarters, call Philmont and ask them your specific question, whether it's infirmary or the trading post or the museum or whatever.
Let's amend that. Let's amend that right away, though, before people run and pick up the phone. Check the documentation. Read the documentation absolutely. First.
Right.
And then, because I see in the group, oftentimes people ask questions and the first 8 answers, 6 of them will be, just call Philmont. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness, if I worked at Philmont, I would fall over every time I saw an answer like that. Like, everything is published. If you make an effort and you can't find it and you ask the other people on your crew and they haven't found it either, ask in the group and we'll see if someone can point you to the right answer. And I absolutely don't want to discourage anyone from calling Philmont to get the right answer. What I'm trying to do is kind of help throttle the phones a little bit and say, don't make that your first option. Look for the right answer documented somewhere already.
Correct.
And don't just take the word of whatever people tell you in our group, find the right answer. And if you can't, then,
or
participate in the flood.
You got a particular specific, unique kind of issue. But what Philip was saying is that to me, and, they've published this, a ton of documents. And, I know some of that reading can be a little boring now and then, but, 99% of the questions, the generic general questions are in published documents, and even like you said, Jeff, the responses on the Facebook page, 5 or 6 of them will say, hey, did you check the guidebook to adventure? It's in there on page 72, that type of thing.
Well, let's face it, if everybody read those things, no one would come to the Facebook page and ask questions.
It's a double-edged sword. The other thing is the gateway, and this is also from Monica and registration. Upload the medicals, complete the rosters, get that stuff in, because that is the database which drives a lot of what Philmont does. It drives logistics, how many, and it drives camping services, how many tents are they going to need? It drives the dining hall, how many meals, how many people are coming. It drives the welcome center, your trail bound and homebound particularly trailbound tents in base camp tent city. If you don't complete that roster until, a week or two before you get there, it's really hard for those guys to plan, what's happening. On a typical day, I can tell you from working at Philmont, on a typical day, there's gonna be in the high 30s of crews arriving every day, and the 10 assignments are being made and so forth. So have that documentation in and completed as soon as you can. Be aware that if you add a person to your roster within 30 days of your arrival date, I believe it's $150 late fee charge. So, now the other side is make sure should you have a drop in your attendance or the number of your crews, depending upon the reasoning for that drop, there is a refund, and that there it is, and it's posted on Philmont what it is, and you can read accordingly. Should it be a medical issue, you do have to have supporting documentation from a physician or doctor or whatever that, yes, Johnny really did break his leg, or whatever. So, Monica's kind of goal from the registrar, she would like to be in a perfect world and have all the rosters complete and the money's paid by May 1 or the first week in May. Health Lodge needs the medical forms updated, or not updated, uploaded. If you have a medical dietary or medical issue that you feel should be brought to the attention of the infirmary, please give them a call ahead of time and get that medical in so they can look at it, so that when you do check in, your process goes a lot smoother and a lot cleaner, and they don't have to deal with whatever the issue may be. Have it brought up, put on the table, and discussed, approved or disapproved prior to your arrival. It'll make that whole check-in process a whole lot easier. Let's see. Oh, they're still looking, as Ashley mentioned, they're still looking for seasonal staff in food service and housekeeping, and Tooth of Time Traders, and over at the PTC. I do know that the housekeeping and food services, their salaries are premium. They're a little higher to encourage people to sign up for those jobs. And I believe food service, you work 4 days and get 3 days off is the schedule they're trying to get to. And that is probably the most liberal work schedule of any position on the ranch, so forth. So get your application in if you're interested in any of those positions. I think that, looking down my list here, I think that pretty well covers it. From what I got from Philip, the associate director, and Monica, who is the registrar out there. Any questions from the audience or the rest of the panel?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly where I was going. Was that makes it a great opportunity to open up for the audience to get any questions they have. And I'm going to say we're prioritizing people who are going this summer, but we're seeing an influx of people in the group who are prepping for 2024 treks as well. So now would be a good time if you have any questions that you want to throw up for either this summer or next summer.
The 2024 treks, there's still that lottery of such has concluded, but there are still a lot of openings, and I can't direct you exactly where it is, but from the webpage you can find what dates and the number of treks that are still available for 2024. So I'll put a pitch in for the preparedness seminar because I keep asking the question and they keep telling me in April, whenever that seminar is that Philmont puts on, I don't have the date in front of me, they will be talking about medical issues and if there are going to be any COVID related protocols. At the moment, from what I understand, there is nothing with the state of New Mexico, at this time, but who knows what's going to happen, so forth.
The seminar is this Thursday at 8:30 Eastern time.
This coming Thursday?
Yep.
2 days?
Yep.
Okay.
Every crew leader should have got an email on it.
Right. And if you can't make the live broadcast on Thursday evening, they do record them and they're available for review the following day on YouTube. And I think the link is posted out there.
It's also not too early to start thinking about a fall adventure or a winter adventure.
Getting to find the Philmont Prep seminars out in the discussion.
Oh, one other thing. There are going to be there's a whole series, but two. Okay.
I think there's a comment about gluten-free or dairy-free snacks is what you were commenting on.
I do not know that one way or the other. I will reach out to Ashley, ask her that question, whether it's in the snack bar or whatever. But
well, the snack bar carries just like the basic stuff at a convenience store.
Yeah,
So,
but is any of it gluten-free or dietary?
That's
Yeah.
I'm sure they have some mixed nuts and stuff like that in the snack
Yeah.
area. That would be
because it's like a convenience store, so they got a little bit of everything in there.
Yeah.
So who knows?
But again, that goes to the gateway. If you have dietary issues, get them in on your medical, so the food service can plan on that, and so forth. So I don't know where we were before we were all.
Yeah. On that topic, I have a peanut allergy, so I put it on my list, but they really didn't change the menu for me so much. And I just I brought in a few extra trail bars that I could have in my pack just in case. And I was able to partner up with another scout on my crew that could not eat pork. So I ate all the pork and he ate all the nuts and all was good.
There you go. That works. That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
If you have.
Yeah, Philmont, as far as the trail food, they have a very, very limited amount of substitute meals. From what I'm reading and hearing, and those with special dietary issues are probably going to have to bring a very large amount of their own food. The menus and the ingredients typically, in the past years, typically comes out somewhere around end of April, early May. So you should be able, anybody out there, they can go to the webpage, pull up the menus and see what's in the bag and what they can or cannot eat.
And if you have to, you can always go through the gateway and you can print out the like day one breakfast and make your own bags and bring the logistics. Logistics will make sure you get them in the backcountry. And what I've heard, I've never used it, but what I've heard about it, it works.
I've been in logistics. I've seen it work, and I'm not going to say it's foolproof, but it is very, very efficient and very much on time, and so forth.
So Darrel, did you have any comments or feedback from the last Philmont Prep seminar that you wanted to add a little color to, or does anybody else?
The last seminar was about day one, what's going to happen, when you arrive. For those of us who've been there, it's pretty much the same thing. You'll be welcomed at the Welcome Center. You'll be asked to unpack your personal vehicle or the bus. Cars, the bus will depart, of course, or whatever your transportation is. Cars and trailers will be parked. You'll gather under the Welcome Center Pavilion. And if you are there on your assigned day one, you will meet your ranger, and he will begin the onboarding process. There are 2 stops that are pre-planned for your crew, again, based on the travel plans that you tell Philmont, that you're going to be there at 10 o'clock in the morning. They will pre-plan a time at logistics for trip planning and review, and they will pre-assign a medical recheck time. The rest of them is first come, first serve, pretty much. But the ranger will have a pretty good idea, where places stack up and so forth. From the Welcome Center, after you meet your ranger, you'll go to your trail-bound tents, and then begin the process of walking all over base camp and getting onboarded and so forth. The health lodge recommends that you bring the paper copy of the medicals with you, just in case there's an issue. The first stop for the lead advisor will be camping registry or camping headquarters, where the roster will be verified and the ever popular finances will be taken care of at that point, and go through the rest of the process inbound. Closing campfire that evening, or opening campfire that evening. Usually you'll hit the trail the second day, and it's what I've seen is they typically want about a 24-hour in base camp stay for acclimation purposes. So if you don't get there till 4 or 5 in the afternoon on day one, it's going to be a hectic process, and you're probably going to get a late bus out of base camp the following day. You can arrive 1 day early or stay 1 day late, but not both. If you arrive a day early, from the Welcome Center, you'll go directly to your camp or your tents, and you will not see your ranger till the following morning on your official first day. So you're free to wander around base camp, go see the museums, visit the villa, do things like that.
Now, you can do your finances on that early day.
Say again?
You can do your finances on that early day, which is good because you need to pay probably for some extra meals and things like that.
Correct. I would suggest, this is a personal thing, if you're a day early and you're the lead advisor and taking care of the finances, I would tend to do that maybe after 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon, to allow those that are coming on that day to get through the process and not take up time. That just sounds kind of rough, but take up the staff's time, when they're trying to process a crew that's going through processing that day. So, visit them later in the afternoon when they're probably a little less hectic.
So Darrel, you've volunteered at the Welcome Center. If a crew does show up early, they're not guaranteed to have a tent spot in the outbound tent city. What do they need to be prepared to do in case there's not a tent?
Okay. Philmont will do everything they can to put you in one of their base camp tents. If you're there within the first 9 days, your chances are pretty good of getting base camp tentage, because homebound isn't filled up yet. But they will do the best they can. Should they not be able to put you in that, they will most likely issue you your trail bound tents or your trail tents early, and they have an area between homebound and trail bound city that they call the meadow, and you'll probably be asked to put up your tents there and stay.
Show up early anyway.
Say again?
Yes.
Show up early anyway. Because
We always do.
very relaxing, or not as relaxing, but it's an opportunity for you to acclimate, certainly.
Yep.
Check out some of the museums.
Yep.
Makes checking day a little less hectic.
Yep. So everybody should check in a day early. I would say, because you never know what time, especially if you're driving or flying, what kind of delays you may have. So that's going to mess up your time at Philmont.
And for the audience out there, if you're going to be late, and I don't mean 20 minutes, a half hour, but you got a flat tire and so forth, and you're going to be 4, 5, 6 hours late, please call Philmont and let them know, particularly for the Welcome Center, and so forth, so they have an idea. If you're arriving by train, you don't need to call. Amtrak's never on time. I shouldn't say that, but what it is. But Philmont watches the Amtrak schedule, so they know if a train is on time or late. So you don't have, what's that question down there?
They're driving themselves and spend the day at the Willington Center, 40 miles away. I would still say get to Philmont before 8 o'clock on your first day.
Yeah. 10 o'clock is kind of about as late as you want to show up.
Yep. Get there at 8.
They really don't have any breakfast options to speak of at the NRA Whittington Center anyway. So you just want to get up, get to Cimarron, grab some breakfast, and get into camp for sure.
Well, if you're doing that, Sal, I mean, breakfast at Philmont is like dark 30. I mean, you're talking 5:45, I think, for trailbound or homebound.
Yeah, you can do 5:45. Yeah, that's the cold breakfast. That's the box.
Yeah, but even dining hall is, 5:45, 6 o'clock in the morning. So,
Well, for those guys arriving early, I would suggest maybe just eating in Cimarron itself, not Philmont. Base camp. If there's something open, there should be stuff open in Cimarron.
Yeah, I think most of the eateries in the morning, I think they open around 7. I remember the coffee shop down by the St. James is about 7 o'clock. For those who have been there before, the Blue Dragon, whatever it is, from what I understand, is not going to be operating this year. So they had a pretty good hamburger, and they were doing some microbrewery, but we don't partake of those things usually. But anyways, the question there, driving ourselves, spending the night before. Yeah, Whittington Center, about 40 miles away, easy drive. Oh, one other thing. It's an easy drive. And Cimarron and the New Mexico Highway Patrol are very proud of their speed limits. So, particularly the city of Cimarron. And if you do a little thinking, you can understand that statement. Because when you come around that corner and drop into Main Street and it says 35 miles an hour, probably within the first quarter mile, you'll see a city policeman. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Well, do
the
we
voice
have
of
any
experience.
last comments that we want to hear from the audience here?
I don't know. Okay.
Well, Jeff just told us, remind everybody we have a meeting every second Tuesday of each month. So I guess we'll have one next month.
Mm-hmm.
Next month will be the final one, unless we have one in June before everybody goes. Yeah. Next month would be last minute questions, because we did talk about where the crew should be doing, where the crew should be. For me, my crew is pretty well gone, ready to go. We're doing an overnighter in a couple of weeks. Our crew leader wants to be tendies at Philmont from 3 o'clock in the afternoon on. Cook dinner, do everything Philmont style. Get up early and hike. Florida's starting to get warm, so if we don't hike before 10 o'clock in the morning, it's going to be 90 degrees. So he wants to start hiking at 6 o'clock in the morning. So. But we're doing it, and we're also doing a shakedown that weekend. So we told everybody to bring all their gear, shake it down and see what you need, what you don't need.
Yeah, everybody should be, having
You should-
training hikes, walking, loading up that backpack,
You should,
stairs.
yep.
Yeah.
And every crew should have the crew leader should be I would say all your 3 major crew leader, religious guide, wilderness guia, they should already be selected.
Oh God, yeah.
They should be, and let that crew. And my philosophy is let that crew leader run the practice hikes. Let him start being in control.
The crew leader should have been picked in January. So
Yeah, they should have been January,
Well,
but you never
before.
know.
yeah.
They should have been a long time ago, but you never know. So
Yeah, so that's where the crew should be, logistically, travel plans should be done, airline tickets, train tickets, bus tickets, when is your travel, how are you traveling, and fill out that transportation or transportation page on the gateway of how you're getting there.
here's one thing on the gateway that they changed from last year. On the medicals, when you upload your physical, your A, B, and C, all that, you have another upload of just the insurance card, and then another upload of the vaccination card, your shot records. So it's 3 separate uploads, not just one master upload now. So keep that in mind when you get ready to upload. You need 3 files. Or just upload like I just was too lazy to separate them. I just upload them 3 times. They can go through it. They're all there.
All righty. Seeing Jeff's comments here. I don't have any last comments.
Nope.
Scott?
Just that we'll be back on May 9th. So
Yep.
tune back in. In the meantime, ask us some questions, send some post on our Facebook.
Yep.
page.
And you can direct message any one of us, and we'll, if you need a more personal answer, we'll take care of that too.
Yes,
Rob?
we will.
I don't have anything. You said it all, Darrel. What else is there to say? I mean, the Godfather
something.
has spoken.
Say something.
Mr. Sal?
No, everybody should be ready to go. They should be. Your crew should be ready to go and be able to. You should have all your training, all your travel information should be ready to go.
Okay. Jeff posted out there, the replay link for this is, on YouTube. I'm not going to read that whole thing, but it is out on YouTube and Gear Report. You can find it.
High adventure scouting. It's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Awesome.
all righty. To the panel and to all the audience out there, hike on. Glad you.
Hike on.
See you guys next month.